Good afternoon, parents and students. Today we're going to discuss SIA athletics. I am Sarah Teasmeyer. I'm the athletic director at Star International Academy. So we're going to discuss all three sports seasons and what is offered during each sports season. So first, starting off in the fall, that will be as school starts from August 9th to November 6th. We offer girls volleyball, boys football, girls and boys cross country, and boys soccer. In the winter season, goes from November 8th to March 11th. Roughly, we offer boys and girls JV and varsity boys and girls basketball team. And then in the spring, which ranges from March 14th to June 4th, we offer boys baseball, girls soccer, and girls softball. So those dates, I gave you guys roughly the dates so that you know what you need to do to be committed to each sports season, and that you're at and attending all practices and games during that time. So that you will stay with us with athletic information and sports announcements. You guys can follow us on SIA's Facebook or Instagram, but most importantly, there's an SIA Google Classroom page that will have forms that you guys need, announcements for tryouts. So that is the code right there for that Google Classroom. If you are someone in 9th through 12th grade next year that wants to play a sport, please join that Google Classroom today so that you can stay up to date with all announcements. There is an athletic participation fee for each sport. It is $60 per sport. And then there are some GPA requirements because you are a student athlete. So to be eligible to play on any sports team, you need at least a 2.2 GPA. GPA checks are done weekly on Mondays and sent to coaches. If you fall below a 2.2, you are ineligible for the following week. And if you're someone that continues to become ineligible week after week, you possibly could be removed from the team. With our sports program, you have the opportunity to earn a varsity letter. The requirements are you must participate on a varsity team for 2 years. You must be in good academic standings during both of those years, so eligible all season. And you must attend 90% of practices and games. So your coach nominates you at the end of the season. And then if you are someone that is interested in playing sports, this past week, teachers shared a fall sports survey. So please make sure if you have not filled that out that you do. Those are only our fall sports listed. So as time comes and fall season is about to end, there will be another one sent out for winter sports. And then so on for spring sports. But things that you will need, no matter what season you want to play a sport, you need an MHSA physical. You have to have a doctor's exam after April 15th of this year. So if you've had an exam before that, you need another one for a valid physical. And you also need a waiver. Both of those forms will be posted on the Athletic Google Classroom. And then the last thing is registration, something new that we are doing this year. Final form is what we are going to use for registration for all sports. So the link will be shared again on that Google Classroom page July 1st. And then if you need to contact me for anything, there is my email address, and I can answer any questions, or you can call the school and ask for me, Ms. Teasmeyer, and I will answer any questions you have for athletics. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. We're going to talk about band now and your options there. So we have been celebrating 6 years of excellence with the band. As we know, we've been online. So we have our online band picture. I am Mrs. Valdez. I am the band director, and I've been teaching music here at Star for the past 10 years. This year, upcoming, we have a great opportunity for students in 8th grade to join band. They will be given the opportunity to play for the full year. We still will be allowing high schoolers to join band. And as always, we have the continuation option to be able to go through and continue playing throughout high school. So you can start in middle school, you can start in high school, but the earlier you start, the better. And marching band begins as early as 9th grade if you've taken your beginning band, and you can earn your varsity letter for being in marching band. So you should join band because band is fun. You can learn a new language, make new friends. It's fun. You get to play music every single day. We love that. You get to go to games for free by participating in them. It's fun. You can get better grades, develop team building skills, leadership skills. You can even earn college scholarships. And most of all, band is fun. We travel and we compete. We do solo and ensemble, which is individual competition. We do band festival, which is a group competition. And we also take some field trips. We've gone to the state capitol. We've gone to a massed band day at Eastern Michigan. And we've even performed at the AEF Gala for a scholarship fundraiser. So you can learn different instruments by playing in band. You can learn flute, clarinet, and saxophone, which are all woodwind instruments. Trumpet, trombone, and baritone and tuba, which are all brass instruments, or you could learn a percussion instrument like mallets or drums. So you can play any one of these instruments, and I'll work with you to figure out which instrument is going to be the best fit for you once you sign up for band. So even in online, we made music. So even with the difficulty of working online, our kids are still practicing and making music and getting that concert experience, which you will be able to do. Some of you are probably, especially after listening to Ms. Teasmeyer, going, I play a sport or I want to do a sport. You can absolutely do both. We have had even successful 3-season athletes who have been band members and good students as well. It can say a lot about who you are to colleges, that you work hard, you have good time management skills, you can cooperate well with other people. It's been proven that students who participate in more than one extracurricular activity like band and a sport or any of the other activities that are going to be talked about today will have a higher likelihood of earning scholarships to college. And just like Ms. Teasmeyer said, where you can earn your varsity letter for sports, you can earn it for band as well. And you can earn it for your first year of marching band. You don't have to wait for 2 years. Some other things that you might want to know before joining band. Band is a class. It will take one of your elective spots in your schedule. It depends on what year you are. If you are in 8th grade or going into 8th grade, it will be a full year class. If you're continuing in band, it will also be a full year class. If you're a high school student and you've never been in band before, it will just be 1 semester in the spring, so you can sign up for that. You will have homework, just like any other class. You're expected to practice your skills, so you practice your instrument. We have performances where you will be able to play in front of other people with your group. You don't have to perform by yourself unless you want to, at least twice each year. And as of right now, there are no fees. So you can start in band for free. And as you progress and make different choices and join different things, there may be fees later on, but you can start and you can try as a beginner for no cost. So some common questions that I receive from parents every year is, if you're not sure if you want your child to do band, I always use how you want them to eat healthy foods, get them to try it, have them, do the semester, do the year. And if they don't like it, they tried it, they can move on and try something else, but you never know until you try. If you or your child doesn't know anything about music or playing an instrument, that is totally fine. I will teach them everything that they need to know, from getting the instrument, playing the music, reading it. They'll get all the instruction in class. Out of school time, I recommend about 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week. As we get into high school with marching band, there are more time commitments with that, with rehearsal and performances at things like football games and basketball games as we go on there. Like I said before, there are no costs to join band and to start. If you choose to continue, there'll be uniform fees associated, just like with any other athletic team, but we can discuss those for the people who are continuing on with that. You do not need to get an instrument for your child. One can be provided to you, but if that's something that you're looking for and you're interested in purchasing or renting an instrument for your child, I can help you with that, and I'm more than happy to discuss that with you. And if you have any other questions that you're thinking of, you can always check out this website called bepartoftheband.com. They have some amazing information, or you can feel free to email me at avaldez@starpsa.org. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or concerns that you may have there. All current studies show that students who participate in music consistently outperform their non-musical peers and are less likely to engage in risky behaviors. So we're keeping our students and our kids safe, and we're giving them a little bit of a boost up for their future endeavors. So what do you need in order to join band? You're ready. You just need to make sure that you select band as your first choice on your class survey when those come around from your counselor. And if you want to make sure that you're going to be on the list, send me an email, get me your name. I'll make sure that you're on that list so you can join in the appropriate ensemble. So I hope to see you in band next year. And I'm going to turn it over here to Mr. Zazadny for the robotics competition.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Zazadny. I'm the lead mentor for the first robotics team that we have here at Star International Academy. This will be my 4th year coming up leading the team. There's a couple pictures there of us at competition. That's what we do. That's why it's in the title. We build a robot in a short amount of time with limited resources, and we have it compete against others. It's not a BattleBots competition. We're not there to destroy other robots. We're there to work together, to collaborate, to play a game, and ultimately to have fun, learn about robotics, and win. That's as much as I want to say about it. It's best that you hear it from others who have also gone through and experienced it themselves. So I have a short video that First put together that tells you more about what First Robotics is.
First Robotics Competition is the world's landmark robotics competition for students.
In school, you read about stuff, but in First as a whole, you actually go and do it.
In the beginning of January, the challenge comes out every year. Under strict rules and limited time and resources, you have to design, build, program, and test a robot.
There's no blueprint. We get a few rules and guidelines to follow, and then it's up to those students to find something that works.
There's nothing better than just seeing your robot on the field playing for the first time. They're all there like, is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? And then it works, it's the best feeling ever.
You have mentors that are actually in the field that can tell you, oh, this is why this works, and this is the science behind it. And you're like, oh, wow, that makes so much sense.
They do a great job, not just about STEM, but about life, how to go through college, how to go through, a tough, physics class.
At face value, First Robotics Competition is a robot competition, but at the end of the day, it's so much more than that.
People ask me like, oh, you build robots? I says, no, we're really running a business and all the things that go along with that.
We deal with a lot of marketing, social media.
I've learned business sides of things,
problem solving, working in groups.
I'm learning how to communicate with people, how to reach out to local businesses.
So we kind of have robotics as the starting point, but we branch out to different areas and expand.
So the ultimate goal every year is always to get to the first championship.
The first championship is basically like the Olympic for robots.
There's hundreds of teams from all over the world there, and you get to see some of the best teams that exist.
It's very competitive, but you're friends with the people that you're going against. It's like a sport, but in its own way, it's better than a sport.
Being part of FIRST, it's really changed my life and how I think about myself, how I think about others.
Participating in FIRST actually taught me that I'm capable of doing anything that I set my mind to.
FIRST has really inspired me to give back in my old elementary school. I'm trying to help their robotics program that just started this year. I want those kids to have the opportunity to learn about STEM.
As a participant in the FIRST program in high school, you get access to $80 million worth of scholarships.
There are scholarships for colleges, universities, as well as technical programs.
It also looks really good on the actual application to be on FIRST.
FIRST does a really great job trying to open programs to make sure that you can actually accomplish anything in STEM, no matter where you're from, your background, your language, or anything like that.
I really do consider myself part of the STEM community, and I couldn't be more prouder to say that.
FIRST Robotics Competition is one of 4 engaging FIRST programs that shows students unique challenges and helps them learn new engineering skills and real-world skills that'll help them in the future.
FIRST is the future.
FIRST is accomplishment.
FIRST is passion.
FIRST is inspiring.
FIRST is changing my story.
All right, so as you heard in the video, FIRST is an awesome opportunity for students to really not just learn how to build a robot, but expand beyond the classroom in very meaningful and lasting ways. Students that are in FIRST Robotics always tend to be the types of students that go on to future success, whether that's in college or in a future career. What do we offer at STAR to help students feel like they can be a member of the FIRST Robotics team? Anybody is eligible to join the robotics team. You don't need any experience, just like band. You don't need to know how to read music to join band. You don't need to know the first thing about putting a robot together, electronics, coding, mechanical engineering, none of that. That's why we have me and the other mentors. We're there to help guide everybody through the process of putting a robot together. And in just 6 weeks' time, that's our robot from a few years back that you can see there competing in the game. And in 6 weeks, we can put a robot together, go to competition, and enjoy it. There are some recommended electives for students that want to get a bit of a head start, want to feel like they're more involved in the build process and not just kind of learning as we go. You can join the Applied Mathematics course that I teach. It's a fall course. And next year, we're also beginning to offer some additional computer science courses to help with the coding aspect, not just for robotics, but for anybody that's interested in pursuing a career that's aligned to computer science, computer engineering. We're going to start offering those courses as well. The time commitment, the season is year-round, so robotics runs year-round. The biggest time commitment, as you heard in the video, is in the build season, when the actual game and the rules and all of the constraints are given to us. That starts the first week in January on a Saturday. So we meet together as a team with a whole bunch of other teams to hear the game announced. And from that day, we have through March to get the robot built, tested again, built again, tested again, built again, make it as reliable as possible before we go to our first competition. When everything is back up and running, which is after COVID, luckily, yay, the games have been approved. We're going to hopefully make it to states next year, and that'll eventually lead to the World Championships, which gives us an opportunity to travel, not just within the state of Michigan, but to travel outside of the state, to take a trip to maybe Florida. That's where the World Championships have been held, Texas, New York. These are opportunities to also extend the season. If you're interested in joining, you want to attend that first team meeting, which is always scheduled the very first week of school. And just for general updates about forms and other stuff you would need to get your parents to sign off on, safety waivers and things like that, go ahead and join the Google Classroom, and the code is posted there at the bottom of this slide. So if you're interested, that's what you want to do. Come to that first meeting, sign up for the Google Classroom, and I hope to see you at that very first meeting come August.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Hoffbauer, and we're going to talk about the National Honor Society now. So one of the organizations that we offer for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, so sorry if you're in 9th grade, not yet, but 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, you can apply to be a part of the National Honor Society, which is a national organization. There's chapters all around the United States, and so we run a chapter here. And Mr. Preston is my co-advisor. He joined this year, and so I'll talk to you a little bit about what the NHS is. So there are four pillars of the NHS that we honor. Scholarship, meaning that you take academics seriously, you enjoy not just school, but like learning in general, and having that drive to be a learner. That's pretty much it. It's not just that you have good grades, but it's that you appreciate the learning process. Then we have service, which is one that we're going to try to highlight more and more throughout the years. This is a commitment to helping those around us, whether it's at the school or in our community or at the state level. We want to branch out and provide as much service as possible. And you're doing it without compensation, right? You're doing this not to get something, but to just do it. The third one is leadership. So we encourage all of our members to take leadership roles. We want you to lead and be a part of that process. So there are committees, we have different parts and sects of NHS that we allow even people who aren't officers to step up and take on leadership roles, whether it's in planning or organizing or anything like that. And then last, we have character that we value as members of the NHS, which just means that you value being a good person. You have high standards of honesty, reliability, you are committed. If I or Mr. Preston ask for something, if we're, a teacher needs someone to tutor a student, the NHS having good character means you step up and you do that. So those are the four pillars of the NHS that we value. So if you're asking yourself, well, what does NHS do? Here are some examples of what we've done in the past. And I will say that even though we had COVID this year and virtual learning, the NHS was still very, very active and has started a few things that we will absolutely continue in the future. So we've done things like voter registration, where we had pamphlets and we helped people register to vote. We got about 100 people to register to vote in the last 2 years, which is awesome. We do peer tutoring. So during virtual learning, we've had sessions every Wednesday and Thursday for months now, where kids can come in and get tutored. We this year started college prep seminars, so anyone in 9th through 11th grade can come and hear from the senior class what it means to go through the college application process, because we all know it's hard. And at STAR, we wanted to give you that student-to-student voice where NHS members are taking leadership and ownership of their own experiences and sharing them to hopefully make 9th or 11th grade their application process a little easier. We started a community garden. It's the picture in the bottom right. So we just did that this past weekend, and we are hoping to continue this next year as well, where all of the vegetables that we gather from this garden will be donated to food banks in the area. And so that's something that was really exciting that we got to get done this year. We also have hosted the Thanksgiving luncheon, where we have firefighter and police officers, EMTs come in, and we serve them lunch for Thanksgiving. And then we just overall do all volunteer work that's needed. If senior committee needs us, if athletics needs someone, if the band needs people to pick up their concert tunes afterwards, like the NHS, wherever they're needed, they will go. And then lastly, we usually help to organize career day. But we're always looking for new ideas. If you're like, something that you're thinking of isn't on here, we have idea forms, and we're constantly trying to figure out more and more ways that we can help the community. So those are just a few things we've done in the past. All right, so the SIA application, it will be posted during the first week of June on the English Google Classroom pages. So I'll just post like a Google form that you'll fill out in order to apply. But before you apply, please make sure you meet these 3 requirements that are not just established by STAR, but by the national chapter of NHS. So you have to be entering 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. You have to have a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.65. So if you don't have a 3.65, if you're close to it, still apply. We don't like just cross you off because of a low GPA, but just know that there are scholarship and academic standards of the NHS. And then last, we like to look at a minimum of 10 community service hours to show that you, in the past, have had some interest in volunteering. I will say that if you meet most of the requirements, but you're worried about one of them, just apply, because you could still get in. We've accepted people with, really, really high community service hours, even though they only had like a 3.2 or 3.3 GPA. But it's because they were committed to service and they showed that good character that we allowed them to be in the organization. So even if you're a little worried, just apply. The worst that happens is you're told no, and you can apply the next year when you're work on your cumulative GPA or your volunteer hours. So 10th, 11th, and 12th graders can apply. Preston and I make the final decision on who is accepted. All right, so that's NHS. Now we're going to talk about senior committee. And so if you're not a senior, or if you will not be a senior next year, you can tune me out for the next 5 minutes because this doesn't apply to you. But incoming senior class, hopefully next year COVID doesn't halt our senior committee like it did this year. But we are basically in charge of planning, organizing all the fundraisers that have to do with the senior black tie and senior trip. So this is just a picture from a couple years ago, 2 years ago. So who can join? Seniors. What do? We plan events, we host them, we try to raise as much money as possible for the 2 major senior events at the end of the year, which would be black tie, which is our get dressed up really fancy and eat really good food. And then we have our senior trip where we go to another place. We've gone to Chicago, we've gone to Mackinac in the last couple of years. So as the seniors choose, and you just try to raise as much money, so at the end of the year your cost is lower. On this Friday, we will be holding an informational meeting for all seniors who are interested in applying for senior committee. So that'll be right after school at 12:30. If you would like to attend the meeting, if you're interested, you want to learn more, the Google code is right there. So you have to join the Google Classroom, and then the Meet link will be there for you to join the video conference at 12:30 on Friday. So yeah, that's what we do. And then on the next slide, we have all the events that you've probably attended in the past, if a couple of years of STAR. We've done the senior plays organized by the senior committee. You have Powder Puff, you have the Back to School Carnival, Zap Zone, Dodgeball, Homecoming Tailgate, Staff for Student Basketball, Zap Zone. Like all these things are senior committee. So we need dedicated, committed, organized people to come and help make these events possible again next year. Because let's face it, we're all ready to get these events back and to kick off fall 2021 with a back to school carnival again. So that's senior committee. So if you're interested, go to the meeting on Friday. There's just some pictures of past senior committees. So that's all I got. So if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat and we can address them. If not, you can have all of our emails, our faces, and join something, whether it's band, robotics, sports, NHS, join it all. Everything is worthwhile and everything is great. So do it all. That's all I got. So have a great rest of your afternoon.